Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll show you how I made this cool effect in Illustrator and Photoshop, and I only used one font to make this, which is pretty neat. So I start off in Illustrator and I write my text. This font I'm using is called Imperial Script and it's really nice. So what I'm going to do is use this font to create all those swirly things you see. So I'll write a separate piece of text and then try out and see how different capital letters work and if I like their swirly stuff or not. So here I'm just trying to see which letter I kind of want to use for its swirls, and then I decide I'm probably just gonna start with an A, but we obviously have to edit this A. So I'll make a copy and then that will remain text. The other copy I will create outlines, and here I'm trying to see how the points are all connected to each other, see if I could just simply delete them, but no, they're obviously all intersecting. So what I'm doing here is I grab my pen tool and I start making a shape around whatever it is the part I want to delete, and then with the shape builder tool I just delete that part. So I was testing if that worked well and it did, so I'm going to now create a precise little shape to delete that little guy that I don't want anymore. And then shape builder tool, you can just hold down the Alt or Option key to remove parts. Otherwise you can also add parts, but we just want to delete stuff here, so delete it. We're gonna do the same thing with this top part, and I'll try to be as precise and neat as I can, and then select everything, shape builder tool, remove. And here we have a cool little swirl already, and we can start creating our frame. So what I did now is holding the Alt or Option key, just click and drag to create a copy, and then right click, transform, reflect horizontally. And that's why we have that reflected shape. I'm now adjusting their position, size, and all of that stuff. I aligned them together and grouped them, and then center them to my artboard. And then basically I just duplicate them again and just flip them upside down. So we have this 4-angle swirly thing. We can keep going now. I'll bring back my text and I'll change letters and see which one I like. I think the C could work well. Now I'm just trying out a bunch and I'll keep them if I like them. Otherwise I'll just go to the next letter. The swirl on this K looks pretty neat, so I'll keep that, and then I'll keep going, maybe add 1 or 2 more letters. L looks good and looks really nice too. So I'm going to Shift Command O to create the outlines so that they become editable shapes. The K was pretty easy since the swirly thing was on itself and it wasn't attached to anything else, so I just could go in with the direct selection tool, the white little arrow, and just delete the part that I didn't want. And I'm going to do the same thing, right click, transform, reflect, and position these guys, do the same thing, duplicate them, flip them upside down, and reposition them. Now we can go with our C. This is cool as well. I don't think we're gonna make any changes to it because it's already looking pretty swirly. I just have to decide its placement and reflect that again, duplicate them. I don't know why my mouse glitches like that. It's pretty weird. Anyways, I'll just position them. I'm kind of eyeballing if they're centered and the distance between each element. This is one of my daily designs, so I usually don't, it's not like a client project, it's just for my Instagram daily design. So I don't usually spend, it's just a way to keep being creative and get those creative juices out if maybe it's been like a non-creative day at work or whatever. So I'm not too precise with these, but I'm just eyeballing that. These 2 L's, I just place them side by side, rotate them, make sure they're aligned. I added a guide here just to make sure they were looking straight. And then, as we did earlier, I'm going to duplicate them and place them on the bottom. I think it's starting to look pretty nice. I love like framing little paragraphs of text. It's really nice. Anyways, we're gonna do to this same thing we did to our other letters. So I just want to keep one part of the swirl. So with the pen tool, I'm gonna go in and make shape around the part that I want to delete, if that makes sense. And then I'll select everything, and with the shape builder tool, holding down the Alt or Option key, you can just click and drag to remove parts of your design. Same thing for this little guy over here. Deleted, canceled. And now I'm gonna place this on the side, rotate it a little bit, and just find its perfect spot. Just tweak it till I'm happy with the final outcome. And then I think I want these two shapes to merge somehow, just so I can finish this left and right side. I think by this point I was getting over it, so I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way that these shapes would look good, like intertwining or intersecting each other. And by the end of this, I just realized I could do the same thing as I did with the other parts. So select both of them and then duplicate them, flip them around, and that's basically it. Now I'm still trying to find the perfect position here. And all right, now I've duplicated them, brought them down, but as you can see, they need to be spread apart a little more. So I'm just going to add more spacing on the bottom ones. I feel like it gives it this pretty frame thing, and it looks pretty neat if I can say so. I feel like I've done a pretty good job. I then select everything, Command C to copy, and then I'm opening up Photoshop and Command V to paste it in Photoshop. Make sure you paste it in as a smart object, that way it'll maintain all its detail. And then I'll double click on that layer and start playing around with the layer style effects. So adding a bevel and emboss effect to it can give it that sort of like chromey look, and adding a contour as well. And now you can start seeing the details coming up. So just play around with the bevel and emboss. Oh yeah, I was listening to music as well. Play around with the bevel and emboss effect with the contour one. Make sure you try out different types of bevel, like pillow, emboss, and all those options. And the cool thing about the layer styles is that you basically get to see real time what the effect is doing to your layer. So you can just tweak that as you go and see how it looks. And if you change your mind, you can just remove those. And as you can see, we have this sort of chrome effect going on right now. I made a bunch of tutorials on how to create this similar chrome effect. If you want to take a look on my YouTube channel, just go to my profile and you'll find plenty of chrome effects in there. So you can follow those to get this same effect. Anyways, I'm gonna play around with all those options, and I then decide to add a stroke just to make it a little fatter. I thought it was too thin and maybe the details were gonna get lost, because maybe by adding all like the textures in the end, I felt like this was a good compromise. Just added a couple of pixels of a stroke. And then I added a gradient fill, a radial gradient fill, and I'll just click on that gradient to fix it because there's too much going on. I'm gonna remove some of these colors and just make sure that we're gonna go from like bright grays, from light to dark anyways, because that's what I want my background to be. And then I kind of usually do this to have a sense of what the final product is gonna look like, because I usually add gradient maps on top of everything. So I'm just kind of plotting where the darker parts and lighter parts of the image are, just so I can understand better what type of gradient map I can apply on top of everything. Now here I was just taking a look at all my layers, and I'm feeling it looks really nice. So all I'm doing next is adding a gradient map, as I said, and tweaking the colors. But this is I wanted some sort of like Y2K vibe, princess type thing, so this is why I went with these colors. And here you can see I'm playing around with them, moving them around, and at the same time I'm taking a peek at the result. Once I'm happy with it, I just add some final noise or grain and a little bit texture, and yeah, that's it. Anyways, I hope you guys like this walkthrough effect. I've been requested this many times. I've got many messages asking how I created that. So I hope you guys loved this video, and feel free to comment down below if you have any tutorial requests, suggestions, or content requests. And yes, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.